for joining us on the Right of Way Report, a podcast by Pike Off OTA. You can join us here every Monday morning at 10 a.m., where we will bring you updates on legislation, litigation, and landowner information.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. We had a busy weekend with Pike Off.
Yes, we did. It was
Friday
good.
night.
A good weekend.
We had a good weekend. We're going to talk today a little bit about the chili cook-off. That was amazing at a new venue with lots of new faces there. People, I probably 85% of the people I met, I hadn't met before, which was amazing. We're going to talk about the Liberty Conference, which is February 26th and 28th. We got the council elections on February 10th we're going to talk about. And then we've got some Senate bills that were finally assigned to committee the day before the session started. And all the committees aren't meeting this week, so we have time to get them on the agenda for next week. And then we have some big news that we relayed to the chili cook-off folks on Friday night that Pike Off OTA has filed a notice of intent to sue the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority and several other federal agencies. And we're going to get into that near the end of the podcast. So stick with us. We've got a good one. So do you want to talk a little bit about the chili cook-off?
Yeah, it was amazing this year, as always. I know you weren't able to get there till a little bit later, but we had a great turnout. And like you said, there were a lot of new people there, obviously a lot of old people that we've, had since the very beginning, and some really yummy chili. I think we had a record number of chili cookers this year.
Yes.
And they always have fun names. I can't remember any of them off the top of my head, but did you happen to catch any of them?
Yeah, Dave's was Hillbilly Chili. And my mom's was like Turkey Gobbler, No Toll Road Chili or something like that. And we had 20 chilies, and I thought they were all fantastic. 2 of them were really spicy, but the rest were relatively tame. But
Rob's were pretty spicy. His was pretty, but I like spicy chili, so it was good. And then, but my favorite was actually a really sweet one, and I wish I had gotten the name. But it was super yummy. So anyway, I always look forward to the chili cook-off, and I'm sad that I won't have all that yummy chili again until next year. So.
And we asked all the chili cookers to come back again and do it. We had a lot of new chili cookers. We had Jake Merrick, who's running for governor.
Yeah.
He was cooked some chili for us, and we had a couple Senate or House representatives that were running, cooked some chilies, and some local city council folks that cooked for us. So it was nice to see everybody get out there and really make their stance known about no more turnpikes and take us really seriously, since we've been around for 4 years now. It seems like just yesterday, although it seems like 25 years ago at sometimes too. But and the desserts the people cooked and made were really funny and good, delicious. Did you see the one where they had the groundhog in the middle?
Yeah, I did.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna see if I can try to find that, and I'll bring it up.
I have a picture of it if we can get it up there, because Kate and her husband gave it to me and the kids as we walked out, because they didn't want to eat the whole thing. So
nice.
we brought it to Mia's basketball team, and they enjoyed it on Saturday morning. Yeah, it was fun. That's fun. It was humongous. It was like this big. It was a huge sheet cake.
Yeah, I think I have a picture of it. I'm trying to find it right now. So let me see if I can dig that up, and I'll post it if I can seem to locate it here. I'm pretty sure.
And thank you for everyone for being so generous. So we made around $5,000, and that's going to really help as we get into the litigation and start up again, because it cost a lot of money for that first go round at the Supreme Court. And I'm sure that this year is going to get expensive with what's happening. And so we're just hopeful that if anyone's out there listening that's going through this, if you can just stall and not sell, that would be amazing. Just stall and take them through the eminent domain process, because they're trying to go as fast as possible. The Oklahoma Turnpike Authority went to an AOGC meeting a few weeks ago and told them that they're working as fast as they can to get it done so no one can stop them. Literally, that's what they said. And that's what they always do. So we need just time. And they just started tearing down some of the properties over by Newcastle. A big commercial property came down, and we just need people to hang on a little bit longer until we can get a legal injunction to stop. So, but we really appreciate everybody coming on Friday night. I had 2 basketball games, so I didn't show up until after everyone was done talking, but there was still chili left, which was good.
Yeah.
And if anyone is interested out there, we are a sponsor for the Liberty Conference, which is going to be held on February 26th through February 28th at O'Connor Resort and Indoor Water Park. And what this is we're trying to get more people like us to run for public office. And this particular conference is all about how to run a campaign, all the media and the fundraising, and just how the government really works, not what you learn in history class. And we think that's going to be great. The speaker lineup is pretty fantastic. So I'm going to share my screen and I'll show you what that is. If you need help, if you want to go and you'd like to go, Pike Off OTA is interested in sending some people there. We really, really want grassroots candidates in these positions. And there's so many that are running unopposed so far. We really like to put up a fight and get some people that can really do some good and add to the people that are up there, the 9 or 10 people that are really trying to do the right thing. We need some more people to get up there. We think this Liberty Conference is going to be a great kickoff for that election season. So I'm going to share that with you, and you can see it for yourself. I have 3 screens, so let's see. Nope, it's not screen 1. Oh, there it is. Okay, here we go.
Did you get it?
So this is the Liberty Conference, and it's at O'Connor, and they've got lots of elected officials talking, and they're showing our documentary. So they're going to show their documentary up there on that Saturday. There's going to be a ton of people. It's great to shake hands with and get to know everyone. And I'll open up the conference schedule. So Thursday it starts at 5. And then organizations from across Oklahoma are going to talk to you. We're going to be there, Pike Off OTA. We have a table. And then Friday it starts at 8 o'clock. And engaging in local politics is up on Saturday morning. And they're going to talk to you about how to become active at the local level, what meetings you should attend, how to know when meetings are being held, and then how to become a candidate for elective office and what it takes to run a campaign. And then some of the legislators are going to talk about legislative structure and function. How do you find a bill on the website? How to interact with the legislature? How do you vet a candidate for elective office? And social media. How do you make it out on social media to get your word out? And then using media to your advantage. And then they're going to broadcast the gubernatorial forum from 7 to 9 that night. And then Saturday, they want to restore liberty in the state. They've got a panel, the Save Oklahoma plan, and then, of course, at 1 o'clock, they've got our documentary. So I think it's a great, no matter what your political affiliation is, I hope that if you're thinking about running for office or you're thinking about helping a friend with their campaign, it might be a great thing to go hang out in. And if you can't make the whole conference, you can split tickets. So for example, I can only go Thursday night. So I'm going to split with my friend Tassie, who's going to go on Friday. And then someone's going to go for us on Saturday. So you don't have to go the whole time. You can find someone to share that ticket with. And so we're going to send, hopefully I've got a list of 10 Pike Off OTA and Oklahomans for Responsible Transportation volunteers. If you'd like to go up to that conference for a couple hours or for a day, get in touch with us and let us know, because we really, really, really would like to see this conference have success and then make all the coalitions and all the connections that we can to strengthen our position. And just so you know, we got contacted by a big time Washington D.C. nonprofit last week that I had never even heard of, and they were calling us. So they wanted a coalition with us because they saw how well we were doing across the state. And I had to tell her, well, they're a 7-figure nonprofit and we're a 5-figure nonprofit. And they said, well, it doesn't matter. We've been around for 40 years. But it was pretty neat to hear what they had to say about Pike Off and the people involved and the impact we were seemingly having. And so they wanted some help with a capital rally they're putting together for against wind turbines and the eminent domaining and the setbacks in the landowner leases in Oklahoma. And that's going to be March 7th. So we'll talk a little bit more about that when I have some more information. But I just thought it was neat that we got contacted by another nonprofit that was much bigger than us and been around for much longer, that wanted some advice from us on how to work the legislature. So good job, everybody. You're doing a good job. What's next? Ooh, council elections. You want to go there?
Yeah, let's go there.
Okay. So we've got 3 people running for City Council Ward 5. And there's other wards too. I got to pull up, I think, is every ward being elected this February 10th
No,
is the date.
That I'm not sure. It might be even. I think this is the even ward elections. However, Ward 5 is included because former Ward 5 council member Michael Nash moved over the summer. And right. Or maybe it was in the fall. I can't remember. I've slept since then. But anyway, he moved out of the district or out of the Ward 5 boundaries. So they had to appoint an interim who is Brandon No Fire has been filling that space. And he's been doing a great job. Huge shout out to Brandon. Thank you so much for all that you've done for the city of Norman and for Ward 5 while you've been serving. And especially in the Turnpike fight, he's done a great job. So wish he could stick around. But we have a few other really good candidates too. I think a couple of others. I can't remember exactly who they are. Oh, I guess you have them up on the screen here.
Yeah, I got the 3 Ward 5s up, and I have met 2 of these 3, and I've met. Do you say it? Shy Fenwick. I met her on Friday night. I really like her. We've met her husband several times, and they're staunchly No More Turnpike. And I've met Trey Kirby several times. What a nice guy. He is very vocal about No More Turnpikes. Always has been from the beginning. Hates eminent domain. He wrote a bill that Representative Mentz is running this year at the Capitol, and very involved. He donated a bunch of stuff for my kids' school. Just a really good citizen. Good citizen. Yeah, he's a really good citizen. I've met him several times, and he's very honest, which I love. He wears what he's thinking on his sleeve. You know, you can tell what he wants and what he bleeds, and I like that.
He does, and I feel like I could be wrong about this, but I think he has a lot of family land, or maybe the land that they do live on. They've had it in the family for a long time, so he's, hugely in favor of private property rights, and so I think that just goes right along with what we stand for too. So. Yeah. I know he talks a lot about that. So anyway, that's about all.
Yeah, he has a lot of farmland, I think, ranching and farmland. And I don't know the third person, although I will say there's a lot of signs all over. And what that tells me is that there's a lot of campaign money flowing in because signs are not cheap. I don't know who's funding it, but I'm always wary when I get a ton of mailers. Wait, I got a mailer. Oh, look at this. I got a mailer right here. I got a mailer. Kelly, you and I know how much these cost.
Yeah, they're expensive.
I mean, they're wicked expensive. I got a mailer, and there's like what are the big signs? 10 by 7. all along 84th and Route 9 and stuff. So I don't know. I don't know her. I haven't met her. I haven't talked to her. But
I either. Do you know if she attended the chili cook-off?
I might have missed her because I didn't get there till 7, but I didn't see her. I saw Trey and Shy.
I saw Trey and Shy too, but I know they've seen us before, and so they actually stopped and talked with me. But I wasn't actually. I was sitting at the table selling T-shirts and checking people in, so I didn't really get to go inside and mingle in there very much. So I may have missed her, but I do know that Shy and Trey were there because they did make a point to stop and say hello on the way out the door. But um, hopefully she was there and she was able to, see all the people that are impacted. And hopefully that will, if she does make it into office, then she'll, work with us. So
Yeah, and here's Ward 2. I've met Russell Rice, and I have not met Stephanie Adams, but JC Deck and Russell Rice were at the chili cook-off on Friday night. So I met JC Deck for the first time on Friday night. I know Russell Rice is staunchly No More Turnpike and has been from the beginning. He's really involved in the Oklahomans for Responsible Economic Development and the TIF, and he speaks very strongly about no more development in East Norman, to fill in. He wants to fill in and have better services in the core Norman. And what is Ward 2? Center Norman, right? Maybe so.
I I think so. I should probably double check that. Also, just want to make a quick note real fast. I just got a message from one of our supporters letting me know that Diana was at the chili cook-off. So
Oh,
thank you
good.
so much for coming. And I think, honestly, I haven't heard that any of those candidates that are running for Ward 5, I haven't heard that any of them are in favor of the Turnpike. So as
Right.
far as that goes, I think we're sitting pretty for Ward 5.
Good. Okay, so this is who I had up. Where'd it go? There. That's Ward 2. What else is that? Ward 4, I guess. Let's see. Non-doc have a Ward 4 Norman City Council elections. I can't spell. I don't know how many are on there. North 4. Oh, here we go. There's 2 in Ward 4. Helen Grant and Judy Moss. So Helen Grant has been the council person, and there's a new person, Judy Moss. And then how many wards do we have? 6? You're in Ward 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ward 6 is Hinkle, and I don't know who's running against him, but Hinkle has been in office. He's the incumbent right now, and I think he's done a great job for the Turnpike.
Ward 6, Norman.
But I don't know who's running against him, so. He's been very supportive of us.
There we go. Yep. He definitely voted for the against the cooperation resolution of cooperation. I don't know who the other guy is, but anyway, the whole point is do your homework and ask them specific questions. Don't be shy. Where are you on the Turnpike? Where are you on the arena TIF debacle over on the west side? And make sure that you hold them to the fire, because really local politics is what matters. It's what keeps us safe and what keeps unwanted entities out. And the city of Norman did a phenomenal job keeping the Oklahoma Turnpike out. And then the Cleveland County Commissioners did a terrible job by signing that resolution of cooperation without even owning the roads that they were signing onto, and without even letting the people say anything. So those elections are coming up, but they're not until November. So the primaries are in June. We'll be talking a lot more about that. And if you're interested in running, I believe you have to file by April, right, Kelly? Is in April?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So, if anyone has any questions about any of those people, please reach out and and ask them. It's really awesome that they're all running. It takes a lot to put yourself out there.
So there was a message on Facebook or YouTube, I guess, from Tanner saying that Kyle Steele was at the chili cook-off too. I am just so encouraged seeing that all of these candidates showed up. That shows that they care, they understand that this is a problem, and they are taking time out of their day to come and find out more about what we're talking about and what we stand for and why it's important to our community that, what we're doing for everyone. So
That's
seriously, huge
amazing.
shout out to all the candidates that took time to come and learn. So appreciate
And
that.
Kyle Steele was running for what?
I think Ward 6.
Oh,
What was that?
okay.
Maybe.
Well, I don't know.
I can't tell either. I think, yeah, Tanner says for Ward 6.
Ward 6. Okay. He was on there. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. It was awesome to see so many new faces and so many faces that have been there with us from the beginning. So again, thank you about that. I guess the next topic is
Let's talk about the documentary.
The documentary. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So those of you who have been with us for a long time probably came to the Regal in June and saw the documentary when we first brought it out. And we won some awards for it. And our filmmaker, Bill Molina, is amazing. And he put it in a lot of different film festivals. And it was in Tulsa and it was in San Antonio. And he really did an amazing job. And we asked him, because it's really long, we asked him to break it up into Netflix-sized pieces so people could better grasp it and then step away and think about it and then come back and watch the next chapter. And we just launched our first chapter on YouTube, and you can find it on our website as well. So we encourage you to go watch that when you have time. It's about 45 minutes, the first one. The other ones are about the same length. They're a little bit shorter. We have 7 chapters, so we're going to launch them every couple days from now until the end of February.
Yeah, and I just posted a link to chapter 1 in the comments, so hopefully that's showing up for everyone down there. So you can watch that one now.
Yeah, it's
great. Kind of a summary of like how things started and kind of how this bomb was dropped in our lap and how we organized very quickly and moved forward and trying to make the best out of a bad situation. And it's good. It's a good entry.
Yeah, and make sure you're watching it. Try to watch it on a big screen with the sound turned way up, because our filmmaker did a really good job with using music to invoke emotion. And even though I've seen it probably 10 times now, I still cry in about 3 spots. It's pretty powerful, and we're going to keep working with Bill. He wants to keep going. So every time we have another meeting or every time we have another interface with a public official and it's recorded, he's pulling B-roll and putting it into a new series. So we hope that it's hard to stop the story in the middle, right? We're not done. There's no finale. And so it's a continuing saga. And I'm just excited to see every time he sends me a link to watch something new, I'm really impressed. So I hope that you like it and keep sharing that YouTube link and our Facebook link and our website link for that documentary and share it around, because well, Kelly can attest to this, but the response that we've gotten from the public who didn't know anything about our plight is just phenomenal. And from the legislators who heard us talk about it but didn't really understand it, once they watched the documentary, they became way more invested in helping us change the way things are done in Oklahoma. So I think it tells a story in a way that's really easy to understand what needs to happen. And Oklahoma needs some serious upgrading to fix the systemic problems that we've had since really the land run.
True. That is true.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to load an image here in just a second of chapter 1 so people know what to look for on the channels. But anyway, I'll pop it up here in just a second.
Oh, the chili was fantastic. Did you see that? Did you see that from Trey?
Yeah. And it looks like Greg Fitter was our number one chili cooker. He got first place. So congrats. I had
Yeah.
his chili and it was phenomenal. It was really good. I actually went back for more. It was really good.
Yeah, my two of my daughters were there at 9, and she just turned 13 today on Groundhog's Day. So I have two teenagers now.
Oh my
But
gosh.
kids don't usually eat chili, but they went back for seconds for Greg's. They really like Dave's hillbilly chicken or
Mm-hmm.
hillbilly chili, and then there was a couple other ones that they liked. And the people that they voted for, I think, won. So good job, everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. So I put up here on the screen the documentary, chapter one, a sophisticated crayon drawing. That's where we started. So,
Yeah, and
yeah.
what Kelly's referencing is what Joe Kelly said when he came to the um, visit with Mayor at the time, Bria Clark, and the council people in March of 2022. And he said, well, we just kind of drew a crayon line on a map. And oh, yeah, we're going to do everything. We're going to get all these studies to you and stuff before we start building. Don't worry. We want to work with you. And then, fast forward 3 years later, what did he say last year? Oh, we don't want to work with the city of Norman. We're done. We're just going to do what we want.
Yep.
So I love that. I didn't see that one yet. A sophisticated crayon drawing.
That's because I was up till 2 working on this.
Oh.
But I've got them ready. I was watching each one of the chapters, trying to summarize, think of a fun little title for each one of them, because Tanner's going to try to load them onto the website. And so I was like, yeah, yeah, that's
That's
what that
great.
was. It was a sophisticated crayon drawing. So anyhow,
Yeah,
good
so please
times.
watch. It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You want to go on to the homework that everyone has that's watching?
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Okay. So we have committees in the Senate that have our bills have been assigned to committees in the Senate, and so um, we need you to contact the chair, the vice chair, and all the committee members to get these bills placed on the committee agenda. Now, the interesting part about this whole it's like all government. It's so inefficient. And on their website, they tell you that the Senate Judiciary Committee meeting is supposed to meet every Tuesday at 10:30 a.m. in a special room. But then on their other website, in another place, they say that their committee is meeting at 1:30 on Tuesdays in a completely different room. So we have some volunteers today calling up there to find out when exactly the Senate Judiciary meeting is occurring, but it's not on the schedule for this week. So it's not even there's no place on their calendar that they're even meeting, but they are meeting next Tuesday at some time. We'll post that when we know for sure. But we have 4 bills that have been assigned to the Senate Judiciary Committee, and they're all about eminent domain reform. And Senator Grelmer, he is a doctor. He's very, very, very smart. And I met him. I still haven't met him in person, but I got to know him when he was running for the Imhoff's seat, a couple years ago. And I was pretty impressed with all of his campaign stuff. He didn't make it through the primaries, but I really liked what he thought and how he responded. So we asked him if he would take on some of our eminent domain reform this year, and he said yes. So we wrote up the language and had it blessed by the Institute of Justice and a couple other, of our policy and lawyer friends. And the first one it should be a slam dunk. If your senator or House representative does not vote for this bill, then do not elect them to come back next time. So the first one is just changing the definition of how eminent domain can be used. And that's what the 2006 state Supreme Court already said. It has to be public use, and you can't use eminent domain for economic development. This is like a no-brainer. Everybody should vote for this. And the fact that it hasn't gotten through in 4 years is absolutely 100% ridiculous. So hopefully we can use this election year and force the hands of all the senators and the representatives to get this in a committee and get it heard and get it on the floor and get it voted into law. If we finally codify the law of the state Supreme Court opinion from 2006. The second one is going to be fought vehemently because it requires all condemning agencies to go through a necessity hearing. Now, Wyoming does this, Florida does this, Minnesota does this, Utah does this. A whole bunch of other states have required the condemning agencies to prove necessity. So they have to come with, for example, traffic justification reports that are vetted by an independent consultant. They have to come with environmental impact statements, human impact statements, and they have to say why it's necessary to take. So it's it pushes it from the citizen to the condemner. I think this is a no-brainer too, but this is going to be fought vehemently because the OTA doesn't want to go to the jury of their peers and provide the necessary documentation to prove necessity because they don't have it. Right? We've been telling them for 4 years they don't have it. They don't have the traffic justification. They don't have the impact studies. They cannot prove necessity for the East-West Connector or the Southern Extension, so they don't want it. But either did the electrical companies or the solar farms or the wind farms. So we like this one. The Institute of Justice likes it, but the senators and the Republicans and the well, not really the Democrats, because the supermajority is the one who runs everything up there. They don't want the status quo to change because they don't want to keep getting that grift. So they don't want to vote for it. But we need it to get into committee. Excuse me. The third one, just compensation. Senator Sacchieri is super smart too. We met with her this summer, and she used to be a county treasurer. So she was in charge of all the land assessment and all that. So she understands money. And she watched our documentary, and she said she wanted to run a bill, and she wanted to make it better for the person that's having their land taken by eminent domain. So we went through all the state's laws and found the best ones, and she wrote one with our language that was increase the just compensation from fair market value to 150% of fair market value or replacement value. And then Senator Stanridge has always been a big proponent of no more turnpikes. And she's running our landowner bill of rights to try to get rid of that land banking clause. So all of these 4 bills, if you could email the chair and the vice chair and all those committee members and say, please hear these bills, please put these bills on your agenda, your committee agenda to discuss. We only have 3 or 4 weeks to have these heard in committee. And at that time, it shuts down, and then nothing else can be heard in committee. It's just so stupid because they don't even meet half the time. And so you literally get 2 or 3 chances to get your stuff through committee onto the floor. It's not a working system. So we need to use the power of the people to make it so uncomfortable for them that they want us to stop calling, and they just put it on the agenda. That's what I think. Be nice about it, but put the pressure on.
And one other thing too, if you call and to talk to one of the chairs or one of the committee members and they mention anything about, well, you're not in my district, so you need to call and talk with your representatives, just be sure to remind them that as a member of the committee, anyone in the state is technically one of their constituents. Because they represent the whole state and all of the constituents in the state for that one particular topic of that committee. So I would just be sure to remind them of that, because that's one thing that I've run into up there, and they don't really have a response to that one. They're like, oh, well, I guess you are then in that case. So anyway.
Yeah, that's a good point. Very good point.
I've got Todd Golahair up here if anybody needs their information, to give him a call and ask him to be on the agenda to be heard. And then I'll put Brent Howard back up there again, who is the chair. So there you have it. And I'm sure those are in the notes somewhere too, but if not, then we'll throw them up.
And they're on the slide too, so they can get them from there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this is a busy slide because everybody is coming after the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority to fix the broken system. And it's called the Senate Aeronautics and Transportation Committee. And this committee has been very difficult for us to work with, even with a different chair. We're hoping that this chair might see the light, although he's been viewed or been observed at the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority meeting several times in the last month. So I think he's friendly with them, which is fine, but he needs to listen to the people too. Avery Fricks is the vice chair. He was the poster boy for the Association of General Contractors in the summer of 2022. So there's that. And then we have the committee members on there, some friends, but seems like all the people that really like us aren't on this very, very important committee.
Can we
I don't know
go
if that's
back to the chair? So that would be Darcy Eck. I have spoken with him. I actually had a meeting with him, and he is under the impression that landowners are treated well by the Turnpike Authority. So if you are a landowner and you have personal account of working with the Turnpike Authority, if you have an experience other than being treated wonderful, I would highly encourage you to contact the chair of the Senate Transportation Committee, which is Darcy Eck, and you can see his phone number is up there, 405-521-5545. He's one that you're going to need to mention that as serving on this Transportation Committee, that he represents everybody in the state and not just his district. So anyway, please give them a call and let him know what your experience has been, because he's under the impression that the Turnpike Authority treats landowners pretty well.
Yes, I don't really know what media he's consuming, but obviously not this podcast. So look at all those bills to support. So we've got Senate Bill 1780 by Senator Jett. This is his last session. He's running a mirror bill to Representative Shaw's ending cross-pledging. This is a very complicated bill, has 4 different sections in it, and I went through it a couple weeks ago, but it needs to be discussed. It needs to be discussed. This one will be fought very hard. Senate Bill 1860 by Standridge. This is actually a no-brainer, in my opinion. The OTA should say, absolutely, we should do this, because it doesn't change anything, except for when it goes to the Supreme Court must follow the legislative intent. Whatever's written in the law, the Supreme Court must uphold. Isn't that their job, Kelly? I mean, isn't the Supreme Court supposed to do that anyway?
Yes, I don't understand. I mean, it's plain English.
Yeah.
We all know what northeast and southeast and easterly mean. That's
Right.
what we use to give each other directions when we get in our cars and go places. But, the Turnpike Authority and the Supreme Court seem to have a different interpretation of what those definitions are. So,
yeah. So all this bill does is the Supreme Court minority, the ones that voted with us, there's the 6-3, they were the dissenting minority. They told us specifically, you need to tell the legislators to get stronger and tell the judiciary, listen, you need to adjudicate what we wrote and stop. There's no more deferring to agency preference or deferring to agency, what's the word that they use?
broad discretion.
Broad discretion. Yeah. That is insane. So we're writing this, and it's kind of just like a kick in the pants, because this should be done anyway, but our judiciary is broken. So let's fix it by tell the legislators for this one, they need to get back their power. They have all the power in this, and yet they're not using it. So they should use.
And I actually heard that over and over again over the summer. We went and visited with several of our legislators, and every single one of them, almost every one of them, said to us that the Turnpike Authority is more powerful than us. There's nothing we can do. And I was like, no, wait a minute. Actually, the only entity that can change the Turnpike Authority is the legislature. And you need to go back and look at the enabling statutes, and you will see that, yes, in fact, the legislature is in charge of the Turnpike Authority. And if they honestly feel like the Turnpike Authority is more powerful than they are, that is just confirmation they need to get to work and fix that, because we shouldn't have any quasi-state agency that is more powerful than our legislature. I mean,
Nope.
And since when does a lawmaker let go of any power and control? Like, that is just kind of beyond me. Like, that isn't that why they go up there, so that they can be in control and run things? And yet many of them are just ready and willing to turn a blind eye to this and go, oh nope, Turnpike Authority, they're too big. I think
Yep.
their handouts are too big. I think that's what's happening there.
Yeah, I think one time, Kelly, you and I should take a look at ethics reports. We should
Yes.
we should spend a podcast looking at that, because that's insane when you start looking at it. We probably need 5 podcast reports to look at the ethics and where people's monies are coming from.
Yep.
But the next one, we'll go quickly. The Standridge is running a $4 billion debt ceiling. I mean, we talked about this before. They started 2 years ago at 1.7 billion in debt. Then they went to almost 3 billion in debt. Now they're almost 4 billion in debt. And then they're going to be another 8 billion on top of that. So in 5 years, we're going to be at 12 billion. Shouldn't the state step in and say, no, I don't think so. So that there's no way that'll get heard, but we need to push that, because there are some fiscal conservatives up there that would think that that's insane. The abutting landowner protections is really important. And this is a mirror bill to Rick West's bill. And it's important because when the turnpike runs 5 feet from your property line, you get nothing and you have to live with it. And so what this bill is doing is giving abutting landowners some protections. And we really like this bill. We think this is a common sense bill, and this speaks for all Oklahomans. So this one, I think, should definitely get a hearing. SB 1440, this Boren, Senator Boren, she's our senator. It's requiring municipality input and citizen vote. I think that one's important too. Senator Jett wrote a torpedo bill, plan for orderly dissolution and disbandment. That's not our language. I don't know who wrote that, but I like it. And then he wrote another one to make the turnpikes free for all Oklahoma citizens and law enforcement. I like that one too, but that's not gonna. I don't think that's gonna get heard. We should push for all of these, and just see what they say, and ask them why they won't hear them if they won't put them on. And then the last slide I wanted to talk about, because I think a lot of our folks brought this up very early, and we finally got a bill to address it. And that's in the Senate Revenue and Taxation Committee, who's chaired by Dave Rader, and Dusty Devers is the vice chair. And there's 2 bills that are almost identical, although right now they have the wrong language in them. What they're supposed to do is limiting the ad valorem tax increases when people are forced off their properties by eminent domain. So if you have a house and you pay $2,000 a year in property tax, and then you move and you have to buy a house that costs more because of inflation and all that, and now you're stuck with an ad valorem tax of $4,000 a year for the same size property that you lived on for 40 years, this bill would take your old rate and apply it to your new house. We think we actually don't think you should pay property tax at all, but that's another story. I mean, I'm not gonna speak for everybody. I don't think you should pay property tax at all. But if you're gonna get forced out of your house and asked to take on that financial burden of picking up higher taxes, I don't think that's right. So this does nothing to the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority. This does something to the county. So the OTA shouldn't fight this, I wouldn't think. So we'll see. So contact Dave Rader and Dusty Devers and all those committee members. We have some friends on this committee. So hopefully this will get heard. And that's it for what's in the Senate. So please be active, because honestly, the senators and the representatives see thousands of bills, and on 90% of them, no one ever contacts them about them, either yes or no. And most of the contact they're getting are from lobbyists that run that place. That's why we can talk about term limits, and that's why term limits are bad, because you get the good people come in and then they leave once they finally figure out what's going on, and the lobbyists just wait them out. But if you contact them, it's potentially, you could be one of the only ones that's contacting them about a bill. And so if we get 100, 200, 300 people that are contacting them about the same bill, they're going to start to pay attention. I agree, Trey. I think Annie Menz always listens when we reach out. And she's running 4 or 5 of our bills, and we'll probably talk about them next week because hopefully by then they'll have committee assignments, but right now they don't. All right, we have some big news. Is it time to talk about our notice to sue?
Let's do it. People are wondering what's going on.
So we've been talking for a long time about how it's so strange that a transportation, construction, and planning entity can propose to build a 7,000-foot long road over the South Canadian River, which is known to have endangered species. It's a meandering stream, a meandering geologic formation that has moved as much as 1.5 miles over the last 100 years. It has flash flooding issues. We were so interested to hear that the OTA doesn't have to get a permit, and then they could just pencil whip their determination of ordinary high water mark and say that their bridge construction is never going to get in the river. So the Arkansas River Shiner doesn't care, and the bald eagles don't care, and all the people that live around it don't care. And so we have been telling them for 4 years, you need to do the environmental impact study. And of course, Kelly brought this up before the podcast, that Joe Kelly came in before the city of Norman and said, oh, we will do all of these studies and show you that there's no issues with this 7,000-foot bridge prior to construction. But now they almost have all of the right of way they need. They're demoing all of the properties, and they're getting shovel ready. They just got their last permit from Oklahoma City for their stormwater discharge. No permitting is required from the city of Newcastle, and they're not in the city of Norman purview for this. And you can see right here, Kelly put this up, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers confirmed, with avoiding the placement of any fill material within the ordinary high water mark of the river, there will be no 404 permit required for this crossing. This is like mind-blowing to me as a civil engineer, because this is bunk. There is no way they can build a 7,000-foot bridge without dropping anything into that river. And it's not hard to do the mitigation, but you have to put in the time and the effort and the study, and they just don't want to do it. They never want to do this. So after 4 years of talking to them and trying to get them to do it, we finally filed a notice of intent to sue. And we filed a notice of intent to sue with the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority, the United States Environmental Protection Agency, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, the Oklahoma Department of Environmental Quality, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife, and the Bureau of Reclamation. We are suing all of these agencies for failure to uphold the law and force the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority to do the right thing. Now, we would love for them to work with us in the next 60 days and actually rectify the problems, but we have an email trail that's 2 years long that has stated over and over again that they do not intend to do any of the things that we've been asking them to do. And the federal agencies are just, oh, that's okay, you don't have to do it. And so if they don't rectify these, the issues within the 60-day time limit, then unfortunately we'll be forced to lobby a lawsuit, which we don't want to do, but we will. And we will probably have to if they're not going to work with us. Yeah, Kelly, what else about this?
The only thing I would add to that is that we have, actually, let's just go ahead and throw this up.
Yeah.
This is why it's important. And this is why we have been asking them over and over and over again to please do the environmental studies. Back in March of 2022, the Turnpike Authority gave a presentation to the Norman City Council in a special study session, and they asked very good questions. And I just remember one of our council members was asking about the environmental studies, and when will we know? Will you keep us up to date in real time? And they said yes, yes. We don't know. We have no reason why we wouldn't be able to do that. And well, they haven't kept the city of Norman up to date. And we know that based on some open record request emails where the city is asking for things. And I wish I had it handy right now, but as a matter of fact, in as the remember when they were going to try to get the city of Norman to pass that resolution of cooperation back in the fall? I guess that would have been in August of 2024. Um, and that's kind of when we started digging in and started seeing some of this stuff. It just happened to all come together at the same time. And I think it was the city manager or public works director, I think it was the interim public works director for the city of Norman, had emailed the Turnpike Authority representative before they were giving this presentation. And he said, oh, by the way, could you also let me know, are there any environmental studies? Clearly, that was the last thing on their mind, the least important thing that they were going to have information on that they wanted to be able to pass on to the city council should they ask that question. And that is just, it's really sad to me because that's something that the entire city has been asking for from day one. And if you'll remember back to Cross Point Church back in March of 2022, I think it was Inger from Wildcare, the director of Wildcare, she got up and asked, about the environmental studies, and they basically said no. And then the current council member at the time was Ward 5, was Richard Tortorello, and he asked about the environmental studies and talked about how Lake Thunderbird is already an impaired watershed, and what studies are you going to do or have you done? And the representative from Poe and Associates that was there on behalf of the OTA said, "Counselor, I can tell you we have not done those studies yet." And it's like he was proud of that. It sounded like he was proud of that, which is really sad. So we have been asking them to do these studies for almost 4 years. And we've asked them to keep us abreast of what they've learned and how the studies are going. And as you can see, we have received nothing. The environmental studies that they've done have been minimal, nowhere near sufficient. And I wish I actually had a different, I know I have another graphic of this this bridge. I'm gonna look and see if I have it over here somewhere, because it would be better if you could see. Here, let's try this for a second.
Yeah, and
there you go. Now you can see where the bridge is going to go. And if you look at, those are the different the active channel over the past 40 years or so. And look at that. Look how wildly it has changed. And so the reason the Army Corps has said that they do not need this 404 permit is because, let's see if I can get this to show up on here. It says that if they can place the piers outside of the ordinary high water mark, then there will be no 404 permit required. Well, the piers are going to go 9 feet from the river channel, which is about the ordinary high water mark. Ordinary high water mark is a very complicated formula, but just for simplicity's sake, it's roughly where the edge of the river is in this situation. And so you can see from that if the river channel is currently here and they're going to put a pier right there, well, where are we going to be in 3 years from now or 6 years from now? Is the river channel going to be all the way over here? Well, then the piers are going to be in the river channel. So this is a serious concern. And we have to follow the laws. So it just seems to make sense that the Turnpike Authority would have to follow them too. And I just want to pull one more thing back up here because I think this is important. And you can see here also in their minutes, they're talking about trying to minimize the efforts they're going to have to take. It says here, ideally, AJDs, which is an access justification. Oh no, the what is it? Jurisdictional determination, application for jurisdictional determination. So that is where the Turnpike Authority thinks that they're going to impact sensitive waters or wetlands. And so they have to tell the Army Corps that they might be impacting these. And they say, would you please come out and let us know if this is, in fact, a water that you are responsible for? Is it in your jurisdiction? And if it is, then the Army Corps is then supposed to take jurisdiction of that and make sure that the Turnpike Authority in their project is keeping that river clean, that water source clean, because people will drink out of it, or they're fishing from that water source, or all the things that all the reasons why we want to protect our water source and keep it clean. And so you can see here it says these AJDs are getting elevated to the EPA headquarters and taking significant time to complete. The Army Corps can move forward without AJDs, and it's preferable to circumvent this application for jurisdictional determinations for wetlands if possible. Like, why would we want to do that? Why would they be willing to do that if they know that the residents who depend upon these waters for fishing or drinking water or what have you, if they know that we're concerned about that, why would they intentionally try to avoid taking steps to protect it? And I know they're probably thinking in their mind, well, we're not going to touch the river, so therefore we aren't going to impact it at all. But I'm here to tell you, when the pier is going to be dug 9 feet from the edge of the river, and you think you're not going to get any fill material, any dirt in that river, I can't dig a hole in my flower bed without getting dirt 9 feet away. So I don't know how in the world it would be possible for them to do this. And honestly, if they can do it, then why would they not want to prove that they can do it by getting these permits? It just doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. So that's why we are trying to get them we're trying to hold them accountable for doing their due diligence. And we hope that they will take us seriously now. They haven't taken us seriously in the past, and that's why we're putting it out there. We're letting them know these are the things that we have an actual issue with. These are the things that we think you could do better, and we really hope that they will come and mediate this stuff so that it doesn't have to go to the next step, which would be to file a lawsuit. So if they don't, then I guess we're ready and willing to do that. But hopefully they will come and take care of the things that we were asking them to take care of.
Yeah, and one of the major points is that they're trying to get around a lot of the permitting by segmenting, by segmenting their project. So they're splitting it into like micro-size acres and saying the micro-size acre is not going to have a big effect on the whole project. But when you do these kind of projects ethically and legally, you're supposed to take it as a whole. What's the whole impact of the project? You're not supposed to say, oh, well, I'm building this access road and it's only going to be 0.49 miles because the limit of review is 0.5 miles. So what they're doing is they're segmenting their whole project, and the federal government is very compartmentalized because it's too big and inefficient. And so one section is seeing this project and another section is seeing this project, and they're not putting it together, the whole thing. And so they have a major issue. This lawsuit is not going to stop the turnpike from being built, but it will delay it until they can show what the impacts and mitigations, and maybe because when they show it, then they will have to stop it. But the point is, we're just trying to make them do the right thing. We want them to do the right thing.
Yes, we are trying to hold them to that because we have expressed this concern since the very beginning, and they're not doing it on their own. And so now we're letting them know that we really do want you to fix this. We really do want you to do this right. If you're going to do it, you need to do it right. And so that's what this is. And we hope that they will come talk with us and find out more about the problems that we have identified. And let us know how they're going to fix that. And hopefully we don't have to take it to the next step, because nobody likes litigation. It's a last resort, 100% last resort.
And so mark your calendars. We filed this notice of intent to sue on January 23rd. So 60 days from there is when we'd be seeking, if we're not going to get it fixed before then, we'd be seeking injunctive relief to stop this from moving forward until they do the right thing. Because once they lay the road, right, you can't unlay the road. So you need to get the damage is already done. We need to stop it before it happens.
Right. And so if you are looking at condemnation right now or considering selling, you might want to think about that, because I'm not really sure how their project is going to move forward from this. Hopefully they will pause a little bit and take action to fix these things that we've identified. So if that happens, like we hope it does, then that may slow their roll, so to speak, and they may need to put a pause on some of those things.
Yeah. So lots of good stuff.
Yeah. Before I forget, I just happened to think I'm wearing our new Pike Off OTA shirts. So if anybody needs a t-shirt, we've got those available on the website. And we also have hoodies again. So let's see if I can pull this up. I think somewhere down here.
They were so popular that we almost sold out at the chili cook-off. So we have to put another order in. So if you want a hoodie, let us know. We're going to put another order in.
I thought I had a picture of them somewhere on here, but I'm not seeing it down there below. So maybe I didn't get it loaded yet. But anyway. You know what? Before you go, talk for just a few minutes, and I am going to load this thing because it has some other stuff in it that people need to see too. So I'm going to work on it.
I want to show them this one. This is the cake that my kids and I that we ate. That's from the chili cook-off. I love it. I don't know who brought it, but Groundhog's Day, it was very appropriate. Thanks for loading that.
That was Kathy. I think that was Kathy. She always does the good. She has all those fun signs out by her property, the No Turnpike stuff. So
yeah, she's an artist. She's a elementary school or middle school art teacher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I got this somewhere. Hold on. I swear.
So remember, we've got the Liberty Conference coming up February 26th to the 28th. If you'd like to go, let us know. And we've got lots of people to contact about those Senate bills to get into committee next week. And we will get back with you when the committee meeting is. It's Tuesday at some point, but it's all different times, no matter where you look. And then mark your calendars, that notice of intent to sue. We said we'd do it, and we are. And we need your support more than ever now as we get into this big year, really, 2026. And of course, buy a t-shirt or a hoodie. Did you have it up?
It's loading right now, so just give it a second. It is. I actually did find it, and it's loading. So it just has a few announcements in there. So let's flip through here. Chili cook-off is already done. Oh, I might have loaded the wrong one.
No, you passed it right
there. Here's our hoodies. So if you haven't bought a hoodie yet or a t-shirt, then you should definitely do that. And let's see if I can grab the other one real fast because it has more stuff in it.
They're really comfortable, and the blend on the t-shirt is really nice. It's not scratchy or anything, and the hoodies are nice and light. I have a lighter one, the first one we did.
Yeah. Let's see.
Oh, I want to put up Dave. Here's Dave for the hillbilly chili. Oops, wait.
Go for it.
Oops.
Yeah, show them some of those photos. That'd be good.
Okay. I gotta click on. Oh, there we go. Here we go. There's Dave from the Hillbilly Chili. That was good. I think he won. I think he won one of the prizes.
I think he did too.
These are all of our desserts that people donated, and it was pretty packed. We had over 100 people, and I would say closer to 140. So it was really nice. It was a really nice event, and thank you so much again for everyone coming. And of course, man, I love this. So funny.
Maybe an easier way would be for me just to share my screen. How did I do that?
What are you trying to show them?
I'm going to show some let's see. I'm going to allow that. And
Kelly wants to show you the shirts and the hoodies, maybe.
yes. So give me just a second. I swear it will be quick. I hope. Maybe. Oh my goodness. Technical difficulties. I don't want to share that window. I want it to do a different window. I don't know how to tell it no. Well, okay. Just kidding.
We can show them next time.
Well, no, it's, hold on. I guess I'll just go ahead and do it anyways. I don't know what you guys are looking at. No.
It says you are sharing your entire screen.
Now I can do it. Let's go this one. And so I can get I can't see what I'm doing up here. All right, hold on. Share screen. Yes. Allow this screen right here. Share this window. Okay. Oh,
nope.
Nope. Okay. No, I'm really getting it this time. This is a learning experience, and it's gonna be good when I finally get it. I don't know why it wouldn't do that. Okay. Learning experience, right? Okay. Share screen. Yes. Allow. Share this window. Okay. I think, yes, we are in business now. All right. So from here.
So it looks like Kelly's showing everybody that the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority regular meeting is tomorrow, February 3rd at 10 a.m. And you can watch it online or you could go.
Yep. You can do either of those. And then the t-shirts and hoodies, that's what the t-shirts and hoodies look like. So be sure to go to the website and grab those. Amy's SUBSTACK, we don't want to forget about that. If you haven't already signed up, you should definitely do that. And then hopefully this will play. Let's see if I can get this to actually go. I don't know if it's gonna work or not, but
probably.
I guess it's not going to play. But oh, that's too bad because it was a really good one. Anyway, I'll post it on the website. How about that? And you guys can check it out there later. But basically what this is going to do is going to show you that I'll just flip through this really fast. The Turnpike Authority needs certain people to participate for these projects to work. And you can see that would be landowners, engineering firms, construction companies, financial advisors, bondholders, and they're all in it for voluntary participation. Landowners are forced, and then the landowners are not allowed to profit, but we know that all the other people that are in this are going to make millions of dollars. And so this is what it looks like at the end of the day. And I just feel like that's wrong. So when you're calling and you're talking with our representatives, please explain this to them, that our contribution as a landowner is involuntary. We do not make any money, and our contribution is considered a sacrifice. Everyone else in this project is in it because they chose to be in it, and they're in it for money. They're in it for profit, which is something that is not an option for us landowners. So I just wanted to kind of leave you guys with that. And I think that was about it.
Yeah. We gave you a lot of information today, and we'll hit it hard again next week. Remember, your homework is to go check out all of the council people running for office, watch our documentary, and contact your state senators and get our bills heard in committee. So you got a lot of work to do between now and next week, and we'll see you on the 9th.
Yes. Awesome. All right. Good job.
Take care.
All right. Bye.
See you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us on the Right of Way Report, a podcast by Pike-Off OTA. You can join us here every Monday morning at 10 a.m., where we will bring you updates on legislation, litigation, and landowner information.